Life is an impermanent flow, where they all carry their own burdens. The hidden memories can't be explained. Tired of not being able to name. Sometimes in the middle of life's rush, we forget that. Peace does not come from outside, but from my own heart. In today's talk, please listen to me. Let go on a journey of letting go. It's not an easy journey. It will open the door of peace. Be self-aware and understand more about yourself. A letting go is not weakness. There was a quiet afternoon when I sat on the stone steps behind watching the every drop of sunshine dancing on the leaf's face. An old man with a handcuffed back hand the string closer and speak softly. Master, they say letting go is cowardly. But the more I hold on to it, the more I suffer. I smiled and did not hurry to answer, just looked deep into those wrinkled eyes. It's a whole human life. Letting go is not letting go. It's not surrender. It's the choice of someone who understands. Nothing is forever. Whenever I try to keep old things, is that we're hurting ourselves in secret? To some point, I don't care more about losing. I choose to smile silently, overcome all pressures with peace of mind. Once in my heart, I wonder why I'm growing up. People are more lonely, and that very moment, a voice from within. Because when we understand life, we choose silence. No more arguing, no more fecal matter. Because happiness doesn't lie in winning or losing. It's in the relaxation of the mind. I'll tell you a little story. There was a very good young man. But living in fatigue, you always try to be recognized. I always want to be right more than you. One day he went to a Zen master and asked his master, I want peace, but my heart keeps on moving because they hurt you too. He handed him a full glass of water and said, take this glass of water around the yard. And don't let it drop. He left and came back, still holding his glass of water. The teacher asked if you saw what the AI said to you. Do you shake your head? Because I just stare at the glass of water. The master nodded. That is the way of peace. When your mind is focused on what needs to be kept, the words come back to the outside. There's no impact anymore. Let go. Sometimes we let go of unnecessary anger. To forgive is not because the other person deserves it. Because my mind needs to be light. Some people come to teach us to love. And some people come just to teach us the lesson of letting go. People who understand the value of letting go will no longer blame you for being angry, because sometimes we live simply, that's how we get to perfection. The deepest there are light awakens my heart suddenly light. Not for anything special, because I chose that day. Do not bring the past into the present. It's a new day, a new opportunity to live in the present. And I believe we all deserve to have days like that. I just want to tell you something. Let go not because we are weak, but because we understood that, keep a suffering. It's no different than hugging the middle spikes hands down. It's when you start walking with really free feet. What does the wind keep you from getting tired? Have you ever sat alone in the middle of a quiet evening to hear the falling leaves, to hear the soft breath of heaven and earth? I wonder if I really need to keep it all. I need to keep the things that hurt me. Life is not as quiet as the lake. It's always flowing like a river. It's always changing like the wind and the clouds. The ancients had stories of the past like flying clouds. Don't hold back, it just makes you heavier. In life, we often carry too many old things in our hearts. The words hurt. Expectations don't turn into unfinished relationships. The beliefs that were once set are broken. We carry all these things. Put it on your shoulder and wonder, why do I find life so heavy? There are days when I wake up without joy. Nothing rain or sun. Because there are too many storms in my heart. I have a friend. He used to be a very rational, very powerful man. But only a small event. A reproach from a loved one you fell for. Not because of words. It's too heavy because I held it in my heart for too long. The other day when we were having tea on the porch, I said in silence, if only. I've learned to let go sooner. Maybe my heart hasn't been dark for years. I just smiled and poured another cup of tea. then softly say, "The wind will blow. The clouds will fly away." I keep holding a cloud in my hand. There was no more shape. The Buddha once taught the mind to let go. The new life is light and the mind is still suffering. When we take it lightly, everything will be light. When we value, everything will pile up in your heart like a rock. I used to hold back the words that hurt. I used to hold on to someone. "I don't love you anymore." I used to think if I let go, I'd lose. But no, I didn't lose, I saved myself. One day I was walking through a field. The wind blowing cool in the sky, the clouds flying softly. A small kite held by a child's hand, soaring up and down. I looked at the kite and then at the baby. I asked him if he was not afraid of being swept away by the wind. The baby laughed innocently. "If you hold on to the kite, you won't get very far." I want the kite to fly high enough I stand still. The simple words of a child. It's like a prayer, waking up years in my heart. Friends, there are things in life. If you keep it forever, it only makes you more tired. Learn to let go. Let go slowly, understand gently. Because when my heart is no longer holding anything, it is also the light of peace, a chance to go deep. The wind is blowing in the sky. To let go is to live. To be gentle is to love yourself. A glass of water full of the wisdom of the one who lets go early. Dear friend, if one day you sit quietly in the middle of the afternoon, hold a glass of warm water and you will pour a blanket. Or will you stop? Have you ever wondered when enough is enough? When is it fit? And when should we let go of the things we hold on to forever? Not because it's worth it. It's because we haven't learned to let go. And sometimes wait until it hurts to let go. It's too late. Once upon a time, a merchant went to a Zen master. His face was austere, his eyes were deep and melancholy. "You bow your head, sir." Many times I wanted to let go, but I couldn't. My mind is tired, puppet Ren. "You have to do this to be safe," he said. He just poured a glass full of water, and keep pouring. The water spilled out, burning the merchant's hands. He immediately let go of his hand. The glass of water fell and broke. The teacher said slowly, "If you can stop early, it wouldn't hurt if I let go before I got burned." There was no last drop of water to overflow the glass. A wise man knows what to keep, what to release. In this life, we are all like the Kier businessmen. Hold on, hold on, hold. I thought perseverance was a virtue, but sometimes it's stubborn. It's like a glass full. If you keep pouring, the rest is just spillage. A wise man is not one who keeps everything. It's about letting go at the right time to save yourself. I never let go, not letting go of one. A dream, a hope. I keep it forever. And in the end, what moves is the wound. I once knew a woman who worked in medicine, devoted to the work, always afraid of not doing well enough, waking up early every day, worry enough for others. But then one day I fell ill and my body was exhausted. The spirit falls into emptiness. In the hospital, she told me in tears, "If only you knew how to stop sooner. Let go of the worry that time is not so expensive." I don't blame you, because I know we've all been like that. Fear of letting go is wrong. The fear of stopping is 7 failures. Fear of losing. But not letting go is a form of awareness. Stop protecting yourself. And I think I'm growing my soul. The Buddha taught in this world, no one can save the world forever. Everyone has to find their own way. Only if we learn to listen to ourselves. Let yourself down. Stop yourself to really enter mindfulness. Are you holding a glass full of water? Are you holding on to something that hurt you? If so, stop putting it down. And breathe deeply. Life is a short journey. If your hands are tired, your heart is heavy. Remember that letting go is not giving up. It's a statement from someone who understands that. I deserve peace. There are lessons we only learn after one burn. But there are lessons that just need a wake-up call. A tender look. That's enough for us to change. A full glass of water or a tired heart. You should put it down so that there is a way back. Happiness is when the mind is no longer burdened. Dear friend, have you ever wondered what happiness is? Is it when we have a lot of money? There are many people who love, or when everything in life is going right. If you've ever been through suffering, if you stay awake every night, just for one small thing, then maybe you'll feel the same way when I say that happiness. In fact, it's simply, one day my heart feels light. So light that you can smile for no reason. I am so grateful for life just for being alive. A friend once told me, I used to have everything, reputation, physical status, but I've never been happy, I asked him. Then he looked at me quietly for a moment and said, because I haven't had a day of rest in my heart. I carry too much weight. The burden of loss is greater than the burden of hope. The burden of things that have passed without letting go. I used to be like you. I used to think that just try a little harder, that everything will get better. But the more I try, the more tired I get. The harder I get, the further I feel away from myself. I once passed a small temple in the middle of a mountain. I met an old monk who was sweeping leaves. I asked him if he was sad. No relatives, no comfort. Forced him to look at me with a gentle smile. Life is like sweeping the yard. If you scan every day, the leaves don't accumulate. But if the leaves fall forever without cleaning, sooner or later it's full. My mind too. Every day you know how to sweep the burden, the heart will be light. Light up and happiness comes naturally. The 6 wise men once said, the most incomparable hybrid of the land of battle AI gave, there's no such thing. Where's the dust clinging to? The dust here is not just the dust of life. It's the dust of delusion, of grasping, of what we put on our minds. What are you carrying? A sadness that's been too long, a regret that can't be fixed, an incomplete relationship, or even myself, that I still can't forgive. If your mind is heavy, stop for a moment, take a deep breath and ask, can we lighten up? You don't have to do it anymore. No one tells you to be strong all the time. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. I just need to clean my soul a little bit every day. I know how to sit a little quiet. Learn to forgive yourself. You've come a long way on the road to peace. Dear, happiness is not the height of glory. It's not far away. Happiness is when your mind is no longer burdened. Not because life is lighter, but because your heart knows how to let go. We can't change everything outside of Kier, but we can totally change that. The way I look and how I keep it, or let go of things that no longer nourish you. A light soul is a cool roof. It's a clear sky. It's a smile in the midst of a storm. For knowing enough is enough, the secret of a gentle life. Dear friend, when it's afternoon, the sun fades behind the distant mountains. Do you ever wonder, when will I see enough? How much money must there be? How many people must love? There's a strange thing about how much we have to accomplish. The more run Theo to get, the more we feel lacking, because that lack is not out there. But in my heart, there's never been peace. That day I went to the temple to see an old monk. We're sitting in the corner of Bodhi. The wind is blowing. I asked him if he lived in a small village. Eating frugally is not much. And I always see you smiling. And I'm full of material things and I'm missing you. You look at me, smile so sweet. Because I haven't learned the simplest things in life. Knowing enough is enough. In Buddhism, the word recourse means know enough to be content to stop. It's not that I lives at least as poor. It's not that people who have a lot are happy. Rich people are not those who have a lot. It's people who have little desire. The poor are not without money. It's someone who always feels like they're not enough. I used to think, I'll be quiet with a little more. There are more houses, more cars, more places, but then I just felt so tight. Not for lack of space. It's because there are so many things I won't let go. I met an old farmer. I live in a village by the river, in a small house with a simple roof. Every morning I go to the vegetable garden, lunch break under the bamboo ball. I drink tea and look at the moon. I asked if you wanted more. It's a bigger house, A fuller life, he looked at me, smiling softly. I ate 3 full meals and got a good night's sleep. There are healthy hands and feet with such children. It's not enough. Why am I silent? While the city's struggling, looking for happiness in the distance. A farmer in the countryside, living in the midst of happiness without running to find. Are you looking for something good enough to never come? Have you ever achieved what you dreamed of and seen it again? Maybe what we're missing isn't more. It's stopping to see what you have. In the mantra taught by the Buddha, knowing enough is the greatest treasure. People who know enough to lie on the ground are happy. He who does not know enough in heaven is not satisfied. Dear, in a world full of calls, you can choose to be silent. Choose to return to the breath with mindful footsteps. And choose to know enough as a way of life. Knowing enough doesn't stop us from growing. It helps us move in the right direction. Don't lose yourself. Know enough not to give up everything. It's about keeping what you really need, really precious, and know enough without conditions. Just a grateful soul. They all have an 8-pack. A cup of warm tea, a quiet afternoon. Such a light soul is light enough that the whole wheat. A perfect leaf of grass. A lesson in choice and regret, dear. Have you ever been in the middle of life? Look around you. But I don't know which way to go. There are days when we're stuck with the question, did I choose the right one? There are nights when I sigh with regret. If only I had chosen something different that day. In this life, everyone is a chooser. But not all AIs have learned how to be peaceful with what I chose. Once upon a time, a Zen master asked his students, go to the garden behind the mountain and find me the most perfect blade of grass. But remember that you can only walk straight, can't go back, and only picked a single leaf. The obedient student eagerly walked. The garden is very large and the grass grows green and out of sight. After a short walk, you see a beautiful leaf. But he thought there might be more beautiful leaves, so he ignored it. The deeper you go, the more you see the leaves are just normal. And then all the way back to empty-handed. The master asked with a smile, where's your leaf? The student bowed his head, sir. I can't pick any leaves, replied the Zen master calmly. That's what happens. People are always looking for the perfect thing. Forgetting that, to choose to accept and to stop is wisdom. Life is like that. We keep hoping for something better. More pleasant, but then as time went by, what's worth is falling behind you. In a garden full of grass, the most beautiful leaf, it is a leaf that I treasure while in my hands. I didn't choose for fear of being wrong. And when I choose, I live in regret. Always ask questions. If I had been different that day, I would have realized. Even if I come back, I'll be the one for that day. With old understanding, with old moods. Then Sao doesn't learn to accept instead of blame. I once knew a woman, living alone in a small room. She said that she was proposed to by someone who loved her, but she still dreamed of many things. Career, freedom, fame. She refused, and years later she still lives alone. When I asked, do you regret it? You didn't answer right away. Just look at the window, where the evening sun is shining. A long time later, she said, sometimes yes, but not because I chose wrong. It's because I didn't appreciate what I had when the Buddha taught. He who stops at the right time is wise. People who accept are living. Life is not a hunt for perfection. It's a journey of learning to live fully with what is incomplete. Are you waiting for a perfect leaf in your life? One person, one chance? An ideal time, waiting for the ideal. You've missed so many simple but sincere things. Dear, nothing is absolute. No one is perfect. No decision is without risk. But if you stop choosing, go forward with gratitude. Even if the leaf you picked is not the most beautiful, will also be the most precious leaf in life. A leaf that lies still on the hand that is not brilliant, no glitter, but the leaf we chose. With all the sincerity of a living person. And when our hearts know enough of what we've chosen, when we stop regretting, as we learn to nod to the past, then it's time for peace to return. A cup of coffee and a look at life. Dear friend, this life is not without color. It's just that sometimes we choose to look at the shadows, forgetting the light where my heart is still silent. Shine bright. There are times when you just need to change your perspective. The things that have made us suffer. Suddenly it looks lighter. Life doesn't change. It's just that the look in our minds is changing every day. I'd like to invite you to sit down today, take a sip of coffee and listen to a Japanese story, small enough to change the way we see life. One autumn morning, at an alumni meeting, an old professor, invite your old students to play. He personally made coffee and brought out a large tray. Above are many different porcelain separators. Glass separation, plastic separation, metal. There's a shiny true, there's an old chipped one. When the coffee is poured, they also choose to give themselves the best cup. Soon the bad cups. The simple separation is left behind. The smiling professor said, "Have you noticed? I also choose beautiful separation." No one chooses to separate normally. But what's important here is the coffee, not the cup. Life is like coffee. What about work? Appearance, status, fame, or just cups? We often choose what we want. I forgot to enjoy the taste of coffee. It is this life itself. There are people who live their whole lives for a switch. But I forgot the sweet smell. In the palm of your hand. I used to take the outer shell very seriously. What to wear and what to look at. But then I realized that one day I was dressed beautifully. It's empty, but the opposite is true. A simple afternoon over a sidewalk coffee, a kind conversation. It makes me feel like life is sweet. In the monastic order the Buddha once taught, the noble life is not in wealth. It's where the mind knows enough and sees deeply. Looking deep doesn't stop at form. You know enough to enjoy what you have. Although very simple. I know an old motorbike taxi driver. I sit in a corner of the park every day. Ice milk coffee cup handle? You laugh very gently. I asked you. I'm not tired of only making a few $1,000s a day. You shake your head tired. I can drink in the morning. This cup of coffee can see the trees. To hear the birds sing. I feel even luckier than a lot of people. You're focusing on the key cup. Or enjoying coffee. You are living for the eyes of others. Or listening to your own heart. Life doesn't need too many picky things. Just a little is enough to warm you up. Dear, the world will never be without cups. But don't let your whole life be divided. I've never tasted the full taste of a cup of coffee. In everyday life, you can separate beautiful but then break. Aroma of coffee, that's what's left in my memory. And when you sit down and take a slow sip of life, be grateful for every single moment. Know how to listen to yourself. Instead of chasing other people's eyes, that's when you really live. A cup of coffee a slow morning. A grateful soul is enough to make a happy life. Ask people to journey back to self-help. Dear friend, do you ever pray in the middle of the night that, please save me from this suffering? Do you ever pray to heaven? I pray that some miracle will come. The difference is in the mind, but did you ever wait forever? And see that there's no I? There's nothing that really changes. What we need is not out there. It's a bridge in my heart. The source of all transformation? Once upon a time there was a man. Life has many misfortunes. Wife leaving children, spoiling work, 7 failure. He went to a temple, kneeling under the statue of Kuan Yin and praying to Kuan Yin's mother. Ask for compassion. Mercy to save you from this suffering. A young monk standing nearby. Ask that, uncle. Have you ever saved yourself? The man was surprised. If I can save myself, there's no need to come here. The monk smiled and clasped his hands. Then Buddha can't help either. Because the Buddha has grace. But people with grace, someone who knows how to get back to himself, we have a habit of looking up at the sky. I forgot to look at myself. Waiting for a cool rain. But they don't water the plants every day. Pray for light. but closes the window in my mind with doubts, anger, and laziness. Miracles are not mysteries. It's when you start taking small steps to change ourselves. I used to think that if I prayed sincerely, I would get it. But I pray forever that the sick will not heal. I'm starting to blame fate. I blame my faith cover. But then I realized what I'm missing is not luck. It's the will to stand up, the courage to save yourself. I used to meet a street vendor every morning. My husband died early, 2 children were very sick. I asked if you prayed to the Buddha. You laughed and answered. Every morning I light incense to the Buddha, but then I also went to the market to sell. God will give me enough strength to do it, and not waiting for a miracle. I'm moved that you didn't study at all. But I understand something that many people don't. God's call is to open faith. But keep going. It's still my own business. In the Department of Economics, the Buddha taught sentient beings to be masters of karma. He is the heir of karma. It is the organ of karma. It is a dependency of karma. No one can help us with our karma. No one's going all the way for us. Only when we stand up for ourselves. When you transform yourself, the miracle begins. You're asking that AI to save you? Or are you really ready to stand up? Practice and change? You want a brighter future. Have you changed your perspective today? The Buddha did not promise to take all the suffering for you. He shows you the way, and quietly waiting for you to walk away. People are hope. I pray to wake up. Put your face on the bridge and keep your head down. That's self-help. That doesn't mean being alone. It's knowing that when you really try, the universe will silently lift you up. 3 views of life change the perspective. Change your fate, dear. Life is not really what happens to us. It's how we look at things. Some people fall in adversity. But there are also people who rise from adversity. Just different in one thing. They look at life through different eyes instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Is to ask me what I've learned from this. Once upon a time, there was a blind man visiting a friend in the mountains. When I came back, it was dark. A friend gave him a lantern. The blind laughed. I don't see the road. The light doesn't help, the friend replied. Not to show you the way. Let others see you. On the way back, someone came in the opposite direction. He was angry. You didn't see me holding the sow light, the Kier replied. Sorry, but your light is off. He suddenly understood, even though he couldn't see it. But my light. You can still light the way for others. It's a simple but profound lesson. There are times when what we think is useless. Again, the only thing, help us connect and keep the peace around us. And so on. My view of life. You can turn off or light up your own life. I used to look at life with resentful eyes. I can see more than I can see injustice everywhere. Every morning I wake up and find another day of fatigue. Start noodles. But then one day I decided to try changing the question. What can I do today to make my heart feel lighter? And I was surprised to realize it's from that question. My life. Start to change little by little. I know a cobbler on a small street corner. Your guests are not many. I sat under a tree in the rain, but always smiling. Friendly conversation with passers-by. I asked you how many years you've been doing this. You're almost 25, I said. Not bored, sow, sitting all day in worn-out shoes, replied. He laughed. No, I'm happy. Because every pair of shoes you mend, someone who can move on. My profession is small, but contributes something to the journey of others. I feel happy. In 42 chapters, the Buddha taught, wise people when faced with adversity are not sad, because we know that suffering is the material for growth, so it's all about perspective. Finally, a situation. This person complains that Kier is grateful and transformed. Are you looking at life through the old lens? Are you holding in your heart more questions? Dark, and if you just change the perspective, can't you live a lighter life, my friend? No, AI can completely change the circumstances of life. But AI can also change how I deal with that situation. Changing your perspective isn't about denying the pain. It's about opening a door through it. Changing perspective is not about color for life. It's about rekindling the light inside the soul. And when we look at life with compassion, with grateful eyes, it was then that fate began to change. Life is a journey, not a race. Dear friend, have you ever felt like you were in a hurry? I don't know where I'm running. Have you ever looked around and seen AI rushing around? The heart is empty. I grew up in false words. Must be faster. Must succeed sooner. Get to the finish line before anyone else. And then we're forever on a journey. I can't wait to see the flowers on the side of the road. No time to listen to a bird. And sometimes not even myself. If life is a race, who really wins? And if you have to win to get so tired, is it worth it? There was a Zen master and a student walking in the forest. The student walked very quickly, leaving the teacher behind. I still take my slow steps. After a while, the student came back and asked the teacher, "Why are you so slow? If we go faster, we'll get there sooner." The master smiled and walked quickly. "But have you seen anything? Every step we take, we see a tree." I saw the stone and the butterfly quietly gliding by. On this journey, we don't just want to get there. I want to live in every step. Life is not a race. It's a journey where there's no final finish line. There are only moments worth living if we stop and listen. I used to run to prove I didn't lose to AI. But the further I ran, the further away I got from my family. More lost from childhood dreams, and further away from my own soul. One day I sat down and asked, where do I finally want to go? And I realized I never knew I knew an old tailor. I don't use a machine to sew my hands. Every needle point, slowly and painstakingly. I asked him not to be afraid of losing guests because of slowing down. If someone likes to fast, they will go somewhere else. Who comes to you is to come because every shirt is sewn with sincerity. Your life doesn't have to be fast, just enough for every day that goes by. The Buddha taught people to walk slowly, but steady in mindfulness. More precious than those who run unconsciously. Mindfulness is not about stopping. It's knowing you're walking and walking with everything. Where are you going in this life? Are you living or just running? You stop to ask, is there anything really important to me? Or you're letting someone else decide. Destination for me. Happiness is not in the destination. Happiness is in every step of every moment, every look of compassion, and every breath of gratitude if you keep running. One day you will leave. The most precious things in my life are behind me, so let's slow down. Not to fall behind, but to feel alive and understand. Life is a journey, not a race. Go, but don't hurry. Live, but don't pass. 'Cause what sow reap? Dear friend, have you ever wondered? Because there are gentle people who still suffer. There are scrupulous people who are still rich. Have you ever complained about an unfair life? Wonder, is there an AI listening to your silent pain? If you've ever doubted the law of cause and effect, please sit back. Sounds so slow. It's like listening to the rain falling on the roof one night. Wake up, because in this world, one seed that falls without leaving a trace, what you sow will reap. Not yet in season. Once upon a time, a young man asked a Zen master, "Master, I live well. Always help someone whose life is in trouble, while the wicked live happily. To be respected?" The master did not answer. "Just give me a bag of seeds. Then point out to the meadow and say, 'Sow these seeds in the ground. Then we'll come back tomorrow and eat the fruit together.'" The young are surprised, but it's only after one night that the master smiles. "Then I demand to see my good fruit soon." To that, the law of cause and effect is not yet in season. We live in a fairer universe than we think. There's no AI that sows oranges and gets peppers. There is no one who sows hatred but is at peace. Every word, every action, every thought is a seed, is quietly germinating in the mind and in life. So a thought reap an act, sow an act. Reaping the habit, So a habit that reaps character. So a personality that reaps destiny. I once doubted cause and effect. Because I live a kind life and I have all kinds of insecurities. I used to sigh thinking that being a good person is real. But then I understood. Sometimes the fruit doesn't bloom on a sunny day. It only blooms when your heart is ripe. When I'm grateful for the losses, I no longer expect others to see what I have sown. I once knew an old woman selling vegetables at the top of the small market. She is not rich, but she loves. Every time you see a lack of money, you say it, take it home. The other day, many people called her stupid, but until she got sick, the whole market takes care of her every meal. Each pill, she lay in her hospital bed. Tears fell saying that all her life she only knew how to love people. You expect nothing. But at this point she understood what she was sowing. It's not lost, baby. It is when I no longer want it back. Then it quietly returned. In the Owl Sutras taught by the Buddha, if you do good, even if it is as small as a drop of water, it is full of water. Virtue accumulated again will eventually lead to happiness, not in the eyes of the judge, but look at the heart of the sower. What are you sowing every day? Are you feeding the seeds of goodness? In every word, every look, every job, are you patient enough to wait for a sweet season? Even though the land is still dry, don't expect sweet fruit. If the seeds you sow are full of hatred, and don't worry, if you haven't seen the results today from the kind things I do. Every good deed is a flower. Every good thought is a raindrop watering your life. You keep sowing, sown by faith, sown by a clear mind. One day in a moment. You do not expect the blessing to bloom. As light as the wings of the flower fall and penetrate the heart of life. Flowers still bloom when we know to let down all the... Dear friend, finally, after the months have gone by, after ballast choices of loss and hold, maybe that's what AI wants. It's just a flower in my heart, a little peace after the wind. But HOA can't bloom in a garden full of thorns of anger, can't fly between the roots. It's full of jealousy and envy. You have to learn to let go. More than losing, let it all down, I'm the right one. Let go of what we used to think. The most important thing in my life, I met an old man at the temple. I sat by the sala tree, looking down at the lotus pond in full bloom. I asked him what he looked at. He smiled. His eyes still did not leave the water. I looked at a flower blooming. No trumpet, no drum, no one noticed. But it's still blooming because it's not infatuated with AI. There's no need to stand out. Just being myself is enough. I'm silent. It's a profound lesson from a simple sentence. Silence is a smoldering fire in the mind. It doesn't burn people. It burned my own heart. Every time I get angry, every time I utter a bitter word, is that every time we spit out a flower in our garden? The mind is like soft soil, the flower blooms. When it is hard, the weeds overflow. Want to bloom? Let your heart be a gentle land. I used to pitch. I was wrong because that AI is better than me. I hate the unintentional words of others. But then the more I'm alone, the more I hold my anger, the further away I am from those I love. I understand Ra. No one has hurt me as much as my own heart. No one hurts us as much as our own minds. It's not hatred that kills us. It can only be destroyed by love. A friend I shared it with after my divorce. I lived in anger for years. Every time I mentioned my ex-husband, her voice widened her eyes. One day I went to the temple. I happened to hear a sermon about letting go of the Siu yard. I cry like I've never cried. It turns out that anger is not for self-defense. It's because I didn't accept that it was over. From the day you practice, I feel so light that I can smile when I repeat. Are you holding something in your heart? I can't laugh completely. A painful memory of someone who hurt you. An anger that still burns silently in my heart. Look deep and ask, is my heart ready to let go? Ready for a flower to bloom in the middle of the garden. Was desolate with anger. The flower will not bloom if the soil is hard. Your heart will not be safe if it is full of anger. Letting go is not giving up on others. It's about freeing yourself. Letting go is not weakness. It's the courage of someone who knows you. They deserve to live in peace, no matter how much pain you've been through, whether you've used them in hatred or in torment. Please remember the flowers are still blooming. If the soil is soft, if your heart is calm, if you go back. You don't have to be on the mountain. Just know how to clean your mind every day. People don't need to say super. Just be quiet when the wind blows. And when you really let go, the first flower will bloom in your heart. Let go lightly too. Dear friend, if you're sitting there in a small room, in the middle of a quiet afternoon, please keep the silence. Don't get up in a hurry. Don't worry about the noise outside the door. Because now that the talk has come to an end, that's when you can sit still and listen. Listen not to me, but to yourself. We've come a long way together. Each part is a breath of awareness. A step on the way back. Go back to yourself. Go back to breathing. Back to a soul that no longer holds anything. To be itself. Letting go is not putting everything away. It's letting go of the clench. Let go of clinging. Let go of all the things that make you tired. I met an old lady once, living alone in the desert. Every morning he scans the temple grounds. Where there's not a lot of AI? I asked. The instrument is not. I feel sad when I am alone every day. He looks at me smiling very nervously. If the temple is clean, the heart is clean. No one came, but the Buddha saw it. Sweeping the yard is also sweeping the dust in my heart. I stood still for a long time. I felt as if I had just seen something. I've been looking far away for years. Are you carrying some kind of pain? An old thing that can't be undone. Someone who has left, but still present every night in sleep. Please ask gently. Does this need to be kept? A writer once said, if you let go a little, you'll find a little peace. If you let go a lot, you'll see a lot. And if you let it all go, you will see absolute freedom. Letting go doesn't mean losing, it's a form of freedom. Freedom from expectations, freedom from anger, freedom from the self or so to be more real. In my heart, I used to keep a lot of things people say and forget. But I remember, old hurts, but I don't let go. I keep it until the things themselves. It makes me suffer more than anyone. And then one day I started to let go a little bit, like the wind blowing dust away, like water passing by my hands, and I feel lighter every day. Dear, it's time to put it down. Set down expectations. Set down unresolved sadness. Put down questions that don't need answers. It's like the lotus doesn't bother to look at the blooming, and then it just smells. You too, be gentle, be gentle. It's peaceful if you can take a deep breath. Feel my heart after this listening journey. It's a little light, it's a little quiet. Something is smiling in your heart. Thank you for listening. Thank you for going on this journey with me. Thank you for right now. You are choosing peace as the way. Let it go. To be safe. I can love and live this life to the fullest. Like a flower blooming in season. The master like Siya Manu and I Buddha.